Hello everyone, I'm Marc.antomattei and welcome to Gentleman Masterclass. Today we are joined by Marcelotime and we are going to take a look at his collection. This is going to be the very first episode of many to come of my new series called Gentleman Masterclass Presents The Collection. We are inside of your famous restaurant right now. Tell us a little bit about this place. How long have you had it and what types of food do you make here?
Well, I have my shop now coming to 12 years. We opened in 2010. Is traditionally based on Israeli food, but I'm specialized in aged meat.
Right.
So I'm doing aged meat. Actually, even before I used to do in the shop, but I'm already doing here for 12 years, so seems it's quite good. I also have a very nice variety of Israeli wines.
Yes.
That is not that common and easy to find in Japan.
Right. And I've had one of those wines before. Just
Yeah.
as recent as about 2 weeks ago I was here. Tell me about that one that I had called the Yarden.
You had the Yarden is a quite popular winery in Israel, plus several other wineries. But Yarden itself is actually quite popular. But being a big winery, they have a nice variety of wines and also a very exclusive lineup of wines. And the ones that actually you guys drink, you actually drink.
That was the top of the line.
The top of the pyramid.
Nice.
And that was. We can discuss further of the price of the wine.
It definitely tasted like top of the class.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about the price. How much was that one in particular for that bottle?
We're talking on the thousands.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
And we have a very good friend that actually tastes that wine, and he even said that it's not far away from quality of how we say Chateau Margaux, Chateau Lafite.
Yes.
It's very. It stayed there, so it's very nice wine.
Very fruity, full-bodied.
Again, guys,
beautiful.
it's not advertisement to say, "Hey, this is amazing. Come to my shop and drink it," because I don't have this bottle no more. Okay, when I'm going to get it, I don't know. We're talking about Rolex and watches, so maybe it's very similar to that.
It's hard to come by.
It's very hard to come by. It happened. I was lucky enough to have the free bottles for the last 12 years that I'm here. I was hunting for that. I shared that bottles with very personal friends, including our friend that we drink that day. And that's it. It's done. It's finished. It's nice to say, "Oh, this is amazing. This is like a Chateau Margaux. You come here next time. You have to try it." Sorry.
All right.
Not
to talk about the wine too much. Tell us about the aged meat. How long do you age it for, and what is the process with that?
Aging meat is usually the aging process is between 50 over 50 days, and sometimes a meat can be also 70 days or 90 days, and it doesn't mean that business got bad, then you didn't sell meat, that's why you have 90 days meat. It just means that specific, because it's like, even so is free range cows. Is not the genetic mutations.
Yes.
Each one behave different. The muscles behave different. So you're almost like a doctor. When you age the meat, you need to take samples and taste it and see, okay, this is already okay. This need another 10 days. and so on. And this is the way it goes. This is the way it goes now here for the last 12 years.
And
so.
when we were here with our friend Tim Remington, what were the two meats that we had? One of them was a fillet, and the other one was a nice ribeye.
Yes, you guys had a fillet, and you guys have a ribeye. Look, that day I told you guys the day how aged the meat was. I don't have amazing phenomenal memory to be precise to tell you right now because I don't have 5 customers a month.
Right.
But I mean, but I believe it probably was on the range of 50 to 60 days. Maybe one was older than other.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that information about the restaurant. If you're ever in Tokyo, particularly in this neighborhood called Meguro, make sure that you stop by Marcelo's restaurant to try out his cooking and the nice wine selection that he has. So before we go ahead and get started, let's do a customary wrist check. What are you wearing today?
Wow, I'm wearing now let me see if we can show here. Yeah, here it goes. ROLEX GMT-Master 2 with the Meteorite.
Nice. We'll get around to talking about this watch soon.
Oh yeah.
So the first and most obvious question is, what is the first piece inside of your collection that you got here? We're looking at about 9 watches, eight on the pillows and 1 on the wrist. So what is the first one that you got?
The first watch that I got from my father, more like I brought it from my father when he came here, but this is a story for another time.
Yes. No, you should tell us that story now. People are interested in hearing it. Yeah. Okay. You said you bought it from your father?
I bought it from my father.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so it's going to be this one. It's going to be the Day-Date 1803. This is the reference number of this watch. It's a watch that was belonging to my father.
Yes.
How we say, later 70s.
Yes.
As a Day-Date, it probably was a presidential watch, so I guess he had the whole gold bracelet.
Even the bracelet, the gold bracelet.
Everything was there. It was a FU watch to the bone, because even the dial was a beige dial that is basically
beige
gold.
Dial. The dial color here is different.
It's blue, yeah. So we're going to go to that soon, but it was beige. We call it beige, but or champagne dial. Sorry, champagne dial. But champagne dial is basically gold. So it's like a gold dial with gold hands, with gold head, with gold everything yellow to the bone. Like is a bunch of gold in your face. Maybe that was the show-off thing back in the 70s.
Right. For me, it's still the show-off thing now. I'd love to have
and then probably came the crisis of the 80s, and the gold probably a rising price, and he decided to make a profit probably by selling the bracelet.
Yes.
But he kept the head. So then started all kind of, how we say, third-party straps and things like that. When I opened the shop in 2010, about 3 years later, I saw my father. I went to Miami, and I said, like most of the family, we are, how we say, kind of Moroccan.
Yes.
I need something. I have nice customers.
Yes.
I need something to show off. Maybe not that show off, but it seems it was a misunderstanding on the show off position that I said. Basically, I said I wanted a watch, and he said, okay, what kind of brand, what? I said, I actually had Breitling in my head, to be honest, but because that time I didn't know much about watches.
Yes.
And but Breitling was in my head. I said, Rolex. So Rolex would be probably a sport version of a Rolex. I didn't know the names. I didn't know what is a Submarina, Daytona, but it would be between probably a diver Rolex, that is a Submarina, Another Rolex that have three hands, that is the GMT that I didn't know, just addition of one more hand, maybe the alarm, I don't know.
Yes.
And another Rolex that have three buttons.
So you don't know anything about Rolex
don't
at
know
this time,
nothing.
but you know about the brand name and recognition.
Yeah.
So you tell your father that you want a nice piece.
I want a nice piece. He said, when I'm going to come to Japan, I will bring it to you and you give me the money, the difference.
So when did he come to Japan?
It came in 2014.
Wow. Okay.
And this watch came wrapped in a napkin
Yes.
in my father's pocket with a kind of, if to call it alligator or imitation of alligator.
An alligator strap.
Let's call it imitation because the whole thing fall apart in an hour.
Right.
Actually, the watch drop even. And of course, the top is plastic. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that now you're going to say, what are you talking about? It's vintage. But that time you don't know. You know,
Yes.
you see a Rolex. You are 100% sure it's fake. But I promise I give money. You came to Japan. I gave him $5,000.
That's a nice amount of money at that time for that watch. I would say that's about accurate.
Yeah, it was accurate. Yeah, so I gave him, even so that he lied to me, he said he paid 8. But I gave him the money. Then,
So at the time that he brought it, did it still have the champagne dial face on there, or was it this face?
the champagne dial.
Okay.
A champagne dial, and I I actually changed the strap. I actually bought a very nice alligator for, I think, $300.
Yes.
And it looked nice, but I still did, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy it so much. It was small, it's a 36 millimeter. I really wanted something bigger.
Yes.
And I was working with the watch. I wet the watch because I know it's waterproof. Basically, I screw up the strap because it's alligator strap that I screw up. But again, I didn't understand much. I scratched the watch. I whined probably
Overwhelmed.
And the crown came out, but it's fake, it's okay. Lucky I didn't put in the garbage. I actually threw away in the closet.
Yes.
And one day I'm going to buy for myself a real Rolex. And, but the first money going to go to a Breitling. So then I decide to buy the Breitling that you see right
Breitling
there.
here.
Yeah.
But before we go ahead and get on this,
Yeah.
you still have to finish the story about where did you get this strap and what happened to the face? When did you decide to get this service?
Well, that happened in 2017 when I decided to buy my first Rolex. This is the Smurf.
Yes.
And when I got that Rolex, because also I went to Rolex with a Breitling, and they asked me, this is first time for you to have a Rolex? I said, I'm not sure.
Yes.
Because I did wear my father's watch for 3 years, but maybe I was wearing a fake Rolex for 3 years. We never know.
And so, long story short, you asked them, could they examine this watch and authenticate it? And they said it's the real deal.
They say it's the real deal, and but it was more than that. It's not it's the real deal. Congratulations. The watch was broken.
Yes.
So we needed to fix it, and they gave a price, I think over $1,000. That was changing the dial to a new champagne dial,
yes.
and changing the crystal, and changing and putting maybe a original brown alligator strap to make the watch more nice. I knew how the watch would look nice because I had a little bit preview, a little bit what I did before. But I don't know why. I just asked, because you guys going to change a dial. I said yes. Could I choose a different dial?
Yes.
That time in 2017, they say, sure.
Yes.
What color of dial are you desire? I decide to go to blue.
Right.
And a blue alligator strap because, and the reason I decide to go to that choice was I saw somebody post a video of a submariner. It was, I think, a vintage submariner, that it was yellow gold with a blue face and a blue alligator strap in a yellow gold watch. And I thought that was stunning.
Yes.
So unfortunately it's not a sub, but it's close enough to what I can get in combinations of color. And it was an addition of another $500 comparing to the over $1,000 that was
For the
already
overhaul.
for the overall. Exactly.
Yes.
So I decided to go for it, including the buckle that is
Yes.
a full Rolex gold buckle. Everything here is original.
Original from Rolex.
Yeah,
Yes.
original to the bone. I mean, the strap is Rolex with barcodes, everything. I mean, the buckle, I mean, everything is up to perfection, this watch.
Yeah, that's really a beautiful piece there.
I absolutely love this watch. I have a lot of people that hate this all 8 watches that you see here in the collection, and they adore
this one. I adore it. Yeah. I mean, I like all your other pieces too, but if I could take any one of these home with me,
it would be this one.
It would be this one.
Yeah, I have a lot of people that come, and what is interesting is because you are, how we say, into the gentleman section, and
yeah, that's almost a dress watch with how thin it is. And in fact, I brought the little calipers with me so I can actually see how thick it is. This is not with the crown. This is 34 millimeters. That's not bad at all. Yeah, but really a nice piece there. Thank you for sharing this. I suppose you could put this one back on the pillow, and now we can go ahead and get around to talking about your second watch. So the next piece is this Breitling. You said this is the first luxury watch that you bought aside from your father's Rolex. Please tell us about this one.
Yeah, it was, my father gave me the watch in 2014. This watch I bought 1 year later in 2015.
Was it retail that you purchased this watch?
I wanted to buy retail.
Okay.
The retail was, that time, 1.2 million yen. That, if I do in a roughly US translation, it would be, how we say, $11,000 or maybe 12,000. Even so, that regarding to the market and the value comparing to the yen today would be 9,000. But no, let's go around 12,000, because that was the idea at that time. It was 12,000 for this watch because the 10,000 was the one without the GMT.
Yes.
This one was addition of $2,000 for that GMT complication. And I already had, before my father came in 2014, $12,000 to put in this watch.
Yes.
And he came, and he broke me the savings because I got this. We passed through Ebisu, actually, and my wife know me already. I'm a little bit with my face down a little bit, and she said, "Did you ever thought about going to this second-hand shop to buy a watch? They might have the watch you want."
Yes.
"Are you sure?" "Yeah, they sell watches." "No." "Yeah, did you ever?" Then I saw. My eyes, I freak out. Basically, I didn't see this one. I actually saw the version without the GMT. But I knew the prices. It was like 10 grand. I see it was actually was a nice one. It was a black that I thought about that one because it was a black with the Roman numbers.
Yes.
That was very, very attractive. And I look in there and I see the price, $4,000. I said, how much is this? She said, $4,000. I said, no, yeah, because I told my wife, Mommy, this is $10,000 watch.
Yes.
She said, yeah, but this is yours. I said, yeah, but like this low?
Right.
She said, then I try. We almost brought, but it was tight. And then she said, yeah, your hands
Your wrists are a little bit thick.
Yeah, so you probably need to go to Breitling to buy an additional link. I said, why, you don't have links? No. By the way, let me show you in the phone. I'm looking for this.
Yes.
Do you guys have? She said, let me check in the computer. She checked. She said, yeah, we have 2 in Shibuya.
Nice.
I said, what time you guys close? 7. It was 6. Mommy, taxi right now. We go Shibuya.
Right.
We went Shibuya.
Let me take a look at this.
And I saw the watch, and it was a half million, 5,500.
What is the name of this watch again?
This is the Breitling 44. The Breitling Chronomat 44 GMT.
Chronomat 44.
With the GMT.
Yes.
With a gray die. That also came up to be, I'm not going to call it rare, but I'm going to call it not that popular. I mean, it wasn't that, you didn't see that many of those. And before the craziness of how we say the watches, on the years of how we say 2000, because this one actually came out in 2009, I think.
Yes.
And this watch specifically is from a Japanese client that bought this in 2012.
Yes.
And I don't know what was the issues or the problem. He decided to sell it almost like 2 years later.
Yes.
Probably lost a lot of money, but yeah, it was that, and I got it in 2015.
So the big question is, why Breitling? Why did you not go with another brand? Why did you?
Because this watch, you can hold it. You can hold
Okay.
it. This watch used to attract me a lot. How we say, when I was in Israel.
Yes.
Back in the years of the late 80s, let's call it beginning of the 90s, actually even the 80s, yeah, late 80s and 90s. That time, you used to go to I used to live close to a department shop.
Yes.
One of the most famous department malls in Israel.
Yes.
Because that time in Tel Aviv, they had only 2. And in one of the department, in that malls, you go and you see watches. So I was pretty much attractive to electronic watches, Casio, Seiko, to see, especially Casio, to see, that was for us back in the 80s, how we say, the iWatch.
Yes.
You needed to see the new innovations of technology in the new watch. And, the prices used to be, I guess it's cheaper, but, try to translate in Israeli money for Israeli kids. So it was like $100, $200, $500, for us. Basically in dollars probably was $20, $30, But, and then you see the Breitlings. And the prices are $20,000, $50,000. By the way, $50,000 means maybe $1,000 or something. But I know it sounds like no, not that. But $50,000 maybe was like $8,000 or something like that. But I mean, I translate Israeli money to dollars. I know it doesn't make sense for some of you guys, but we are in Israel. We live with Israeli money, so for us, Israeli money is like dollar in that moment in time, especially when you are 12 years old, So you see a 50,000 shekel watch, you know?
Yes.
It's like 50 grand watch, you
So
know?
this-
Even though that in dollars it's only 8 grand, but you know, I mean,
But you had a fascination with Breitling as a kid.
it was fascinated as a kid to see something so expensive. And I didn't even imagine that it was even steel, because it's shiny
Yes.
like
Like
crazy.
chrome.
It's all mirror.
Yes.
The whole watch is shiny like mirror. So it's definitely gold or platinum. I definitely thought the whole watch is made of platinum.
Yes.
I mean, the whole thing is so shiny. I mean, it was a very kind of FU shininess. You know, I did see a Rolex Submarina full yellow gold. I think of one guy, and this attracted me more. This I said, oh, this is the FU watch. That is just a gold watch. This is a platinum. Even so, it was, you know, but you really got the. It was a kid fascination, if it makes sense.
Yes. So let's move on to another watch.